How Tibetan monks build muscle after 50 eating once a day. You see a 58-year-old Tibetan monk sitting cross-legged in a monastery hall at 11 o'clock in the morning. In front of him sits a single wooden bowl filled with barley flour, yak butter, and vegetables. This is his only meal. Yesterday he ate once. Tomorrow he'll eat once. For the past 40 years, he's eaten all his food in a single sitting before noon. Yet, when he stands and rolls up his sleeve, his forearm is packed with muscle, his shoulders are wide, his posture is straight. At an age when most men are losing strength, he's kept muscle mass that would require most people to eat 5 times a day and take protein supplements. How do Tibetan monks build and keep muscle eating once daily when modern fitness says you need to eat every 3 hours? Most people think muscle requires constant protein, 6 small meals, protein shakes, eating within 30 minutes of training, but Tibetan monks eat 0 meals for 20 hours straight, eat 1 meal before noon, and their muscle tissue doesn't waste away. In fact, older monks often have better muscle density than younger men who follow modern bodybuilding plans. The real enemy isn't fasting, it's insulin resistance from constant eating. So, when you eat every few hours, your insulin stays high. High insulin actually blocks fat burning and stops the release of growth hormone. Your body never gets a chance to enter repair mode because, well, it's always stuck in digestion mode. Monks discovered over 1,000 years ago that muscle doesn't actually grow from constant feeding. Instead, it grows from deep fasting followed by nutrient-packed refeeding, which triggers a hormone wave that, honestly, modern science is only just beginning to measure. In the next 14 minutes, you'll see the exact method monks use to build muscle while eating just once per day. You'll get the ancient plan for what to eat, when to eat it, and how to structure the fast so your body shifts from burning sugar to, actually building tissue. And you'll learn the mistake that makes intermittent fasting destroy muscle instead of keeping it, the trap that leaves most people weaker and more tired. By the end, you'll know how to test if your body is in muscle-building mode or muscle-wasting mode during a fast. Here's what monks understood centuries before modern science confirmed it. At Tashilhunpo Monastery, founded in 1447, monks follow a meal timing plan that hasn't changed in over 500 years. They wake at 4 a.m., they drink yak butter tea, which is tea mixed with salt and butter, but contains no sugar or carbohydrates. At 11 a.m., they eat their single meal. Then nothing until 11 a.m. the next day. 24 hours between meals, but the butter tea isn't considered food, it's a metabolic bridge. The fat keeps them full and provides energy without spiking insulin. This allows their bodies to stay in a fasted state hormonally even though they're consuming calories. The method is called fasted state growth hormone amplification. When you don't eat for 16 to 20 hours, insulin drops to baseline. Low insulin signals the pituitary gland to release growth hormone. Growth hormone levels can spike by 300 to 500% during extended fasts. Growth hormone does 2 things. It keeps muscle mass by preventing protein breakdown, and it speeds up fat burning to provide energy. But here's the key. Growth hormone only spikes if you're not eating carbohydrates or protein. Fat doesn't trigger insulin, so monks can drink butter tea all morning and stay in a hormonal fast. Modern eating patterns destroy this method. Breakfast cereal spikes insulin at 7 a.m. A snack spikes it again at 10 a.m. Lunch at noon. Another snack at 3 p.m. Dinner at 7 p.m. Late night snack at 10 p.m. Insulin never drops. Growth hormone never rises, and your body never enters the state where it puts muscle preservation and fat burning first. Here's your first test. When you wake up tomorrow morning, check your hunger level before eating anything. If you're extremely hungry within 30 minutes of waking, your body is dependent on constant glucose. It's burning sugar, not fat. If you can go 2 to 3 hours without intense hunger, your body has metabolic flexibility. It can switch between fuel sources. Monks train their bodies to burn fat for energy so muscle tissue stays protected during fasts. Now, here's Tier 1, the butter tea fast. When you wake up, don't eat solid food. Instead, make a simple version of butter tea. Brew black or green tea. Add 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter or ghee. Add a pinch of salt. Blend it until frothy. Drink this instead of breakfast. The fat provides 100 calories and keeps you full for hours without spiking insulin. This extends your overnight fast into the afternoon while keeping energy up. Monks add a movement part. They don't sit still during the fast. They walk, they do light chores, they do slow body weight exercises. Movement during a fasted state boosts fat burning and signals the body that muscle is needed, so it doesn't break down protein for energy. You need 3 things: tea, butter, salt. That's it. The common mistake is adding protein or carbs to the tea. Some people add collagen powder or honey. The moment you add protein or sugar, insulin spikes and the fast breaks. The entire point is keeping insulin low so growth hormone can rise. Fat alone doesn't break the fast hormonally. What you'll notice within 10 minutes, your energy stabilizes. You don't crash and your hunger disappears for 3 to 4 hours. That's your body switching from sugar burning to fat burning mode. But fasting alone won't build muscle if the single meal you eat is nutritionally incomplete. That's where the second method becomes critical. The nutrient-dense refeeding window that monks use is designed to trigger muscle protein synthesis in one concentrated burst. So, here's what modern meal timing really misses. Your body, honestly, doesn't need protein spread throughout the day. What it actually needs is a threshold dose of amino acids delivered in a short window to activate muscle protein synthesis. That threshold is, well, roughly 30 to 40 grams of protein consumed within an hour. Eating 10 grams 6 times a day just doesn't work the same way. The signal isn't strong enough. But, eating 50 grams in one sitting creates a massive anabolic spike that actually lasts for hours. At Sarah Monastery, the single daily meal follows a precise formula. The base is tsampa, which is roasted barley flour mixed with yak butter tea. Barley provides slow-digesting carbohydrates that refill muscle glycogen without spiking blood sugar. Then comes protein. This might be yak meat, dried cheese called chirpy, or legumes like lentils. The protein portion is roughly the size of 2 fists. It's dense, concentrated, and consumed within about 30 minutes. After protein comes vegetables, usually turnips, radishes, or wild greens. And finally, more butter or animal fat is added to slow digestion and provides sustained energy. The second method is compressed nutrient loading with protein prioritization. When you eat one meal, you can afford to eat a large portion of protein without worrying about frequent digestion stress. Monks consume 40 to 60 grams of protein in that single meal. This saturates their muscles with amino acids. The spike in amino acids combined with the insulin response from carbohydrates activates mTOR, the cellular pathway responsible for muscle growth. And because they've been fasting for 20 hours, their insulin sensitivity is extremely high. That means the carbohydrates and amino acids get shuttled directly into muscle cells instead of being stored as fat. Modern bodybuilding tells you to eat protein every 3 hours to keep muscle protein synthesis elevated, but muscle protein synthesis doesn't work like a steady drip. It works in waves. One large wave triggered by a high-protein meal is just as effective, if not more so, than multiple small waves. The difference is that the single large wave happens when your insulin sensitivity is maxed out from fasting. So, nutrients are used more efficiently. Here's your second test. Eat your normal breakfast tomorrow, then check your energy level 2 hours later. If you feel sluggish or need a snack, your insulin spiked and crashed. Now try skipping breakfast, drinking only butter tea and eating your first meal at noon with 40 grams of protein, a fist-sized portion of carbs, and plenty of healthy fat. Check your energy 2 hours after that meal. If you feel steady and satisfied for 4 to 6 hours, your body is using nutrients properly. Now the Tier 2 protocol, the one meal muscle formula. So, you'll want to fast for about 18 to 20 hours, and, you can use butter tea in the morning to help with that. When your eating window opens, it's best to start with protein. Aim for 2 palm-sized portions of meat, fish, eggs, or even lentils. After that, go ahead and add 1 to 2 fist-sized portions of starchy carbs, like rice, potatoes, or barley. And, make sure to finish your meal with some non-starchy vegetables and a good source of fat, such as butter, olive oil, or animal fat. Try to eat everything within a 60-minute window. Once that's done, just close your eating window and fast again until the next day. Monks add a digestive practice. After eating, they sit still for 15 minutes and take slow, deep breaths. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system and improves digestion. Eating and immediately moving or working actually reduces nutrient absorption. The common mistake here is eating too little protein in the one meal. Some people eat a salad and wonder why they lose muscle on one meal a day. You need to hit the threshold. If you're eating once, that meal must contain at least 40 grams of protein or your body won't receive the signal to build or maintain muscle. What you'll feel within 24 hours. Your digestion feels lighter, you're not bloated. And your energy is stable for 6 to 8 hours after the meal instead of spiking and crashing every 2 hours. But here's the problem most people run into. They try one meal a day, feel terrible, and quit. That's because they're making the exact mistake the fasting industry hides from you. Here's what they sell you. Intermittent fasting apps, fasting trackers, fasting communities, and the message is always the same. Just stop eating and the fat will melt off. But here's the trick. They don't tell you that fasting without proper refeeding destroys muscle. Your body doesn't care about your appearance goals, it cares about survival. When you fast and then refeed with a tiny salad or a protein shake, your body interprets this as starvation. It downregulates metabolism, breaks down muscle for energy, and holds on to fat because fat is a better survival fuel than muscle. Monks avoid this trap entirely because their one meal is massive and nutrient-dense. They're not restricting calories, they're compressing them. A monk might consume 2,000 to 2,500 calories in that one sitting. That's enough to signal abundance, not scarcity. The body responds by maintaining muscle and burning fat for fuel. Here's how to detect if you've been trapped. If you've been doing intermittent fasting for weeks and you're losing strength, feeling cold, or getting weaker in your workouts, you're undereating during your refeeding window. The test is simple. Can you perform the same physical tasks you could before you started fasting? If not, you're in a catabolic state. You're breaking down more tissue than you're building. The monk's rule is this: fasting is not restriction, it's concentration. You don't eat less food, you eat the same amount of food in a shorter time. The benefits come from the hormonal state during the fast, not from calorie reduction. Now, here's the complete protocol monks use to maintain muscle while eating once per day. Step 1. Wake up and drink butter tea, 1 tablespoon of butter in black or green tea with a pinch of salt. This keeps insulin low and extends the fast hormonally while providing energy. Step 2. Stay lightly active during the fast. Walk, move, do light chores. Avoid intense workouts while fasted unless you're adapted. Movement signals that muscle is needed and prevents breakdown. Alright, so, step 3 is to eat your one meal between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Start with, 2 palm-sized portions of protein. Then, add 1 to 2 fists of starchy carbs. Finish up with vegetables and some fat. Be sure to consume everything within 60 minutes. Step 4. After eating, just sit still for about 15 minutes. Breathe deeply. Let your body digest without any distraction. No screens, no work. Just rest. Step 5. Fast again until the next day's meal window. Drink water, tea, or black coffee. No calories are allowed, except butter tea in the morning if you really need it. The total eating window is 1 hour per day. The total fasting window is 23 hours, with fat allowed in the morning. Okay, so here's what to expect. Within 10 minutes of finishing your meal, you'll feel deeply satisfied but not stuffed. Then, within 24 hours, you'll probably notice you're not thinking about food all the time. Your mind feels clearer, mostly because your blood sugar is stable, and within 7 days your body composition actually starts changing. Fat decreases, muscle definition improves, and strength in your workouts either maintains or even increases even though you're just eating once a day. Alright, so there are 2 fail-safes you should know about. First, if you feel weak or dizzy during the fast, it probably means you're not eating enough in your one meal. just increase the portion size, especially when it comes to protein and fat. Now, if you're losing muscle, you can add a second, smaller meal in a 4-hour eating window instead of just 1 hour. Some people just need more time to consume enough food, and that's totally fine. The key is still fasting for 20 hours and compressing your food into a short window. Now, here's what this really means for anyone trying to build muscle after 40. Let's close the loops here. The mistake everyone makes is thinking muscle needs constant protein feeding, so they end up eating 6 times a day, keeping insulin high, blocking growth hormone, and then wondering why their body composition doesn't improve. So, the real method here is fasting-induced growth hormone release, combined with nutrient-dense refeeding that, honestly, creates a pretty powerful anabolic signal. The reason most intermittent fasting fails is actually undereating during the refeed. People fast for 20 hours, then, just eat a salad and some chicken. The body sees this as starvation, metabolism slows down, and muscle starts to break down. Monks avoid this by eating a massive nutrient-dense meal that signals abundance, not scarcity. The method is actually pretty simple. Butter tea in the morning keeps you in a fasted state hormonally, while still providing some energy. The 20-hour fast elevates growth hormone and increases insulin sensitivity. Then, that one large meal delivers a threshold dose of protein and carbs that triggers muscle protein synthesis, right when your body is primed to use nutrients efficiently. The protocol, in 3 lines: fast for 20 hours with butter tea in the morning, eat one large meal with 40+ grams of protein, starchy carbs, and healthy fat within a 60-minute window. Repeat daily, don't reduce total calories, compress them. Okay, so here's the final truth. Modern fitness, it's really built on this belief that more is always better. More meals, more protein, more eating frequency. But monks, honestly, they prove the exact opposite. Less frequent meals, but with greater nutrient density, actually builds and maintains muscle better than constant grazing. The body, it doesn't really need this steady input all day long. What it actually needs are these concentrated bursts of nutrients, delivered when hormonal conditions are just right. We're told over and over that fasting will make us weak, that we'll lose muscle, that we have to eat every few hours to keep our mass. But Tibetan monks, they've been eating once a day for more than 1,000 years. And, get this, their muscle mass at 60 often surpasses that of inactive 30-year-olds who eat 6 meals a day. The difference here isn't genetics, it's hormones. Fasting, it optimizes the hormones that build and protect muscle, while constant eating just disrupts them. So, if you want more ancient systems that actually work in modern life, this channel is for you. Go ahead and subscribe, and maybe send this to someone who's been told they need 6 meals a day to build muscle, or who's tried intermittent fasting and felt weak, or anyone who's just ready to see what happens when you eat less often, but a lot more strategically. You saw a 58-year-old monk with dense muscle eating just once a day. Now you know how he did it, not through constant feeding, but through hormonal optimization. The fasting elevated his growth hormone, and then the meal delivered concentrated nutrients. So the body responded by building tissue, not breaking it down. The answer was never more meals. It was always about better timing.